2 weeks to go to the start of the season. Good to catch up with Mikey Doble. Mikey, good to see you. When I spoke to you last, it was at Autosport, and things were sort of still a little bit up in the air, weren't they? And pretty much the detail was yet to be done. You're back on the grid, and you've got the bragging rights from Croft. That's not a bad start, mate, is it?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a winter, to be honest. No, look, I mean, I'm just over the moon to be back on the grid and giving it another crack for this year. Like I said, I mean, when we last spoke, I had fingers in pies, but nothing was, nearly signing on the dotted line. So I still remained with hope as the winter went on, coming into the year. But in the end, we managed to do a deal to come back with Powermax Racing. Really, really glad to be back with the team in which I've built my craft in the championship over the last couple of years and won many trophies, and the Jack Sears Trophy last year. So I think the only thing that we haven't achieved so far is an overall race win, and that's on the list, the top of the list of goals to achieve for this year. So obviously out in Croft the other week, first time out in the car, and we were pretty quick from the outset. I know it counts for very little as we come into the main season, but it certainly gets in the head of some of the others.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's always good to have the bragging rights from testing. I know we don't know what everybody else is doing, but it's important. You used a really great phrase there, which is about learning your craft, and you do need to do that in this championship, don't you? Because it's established. There's some very good drivers, very competitive grid. Do you feel are coming back this year in a much better place mentally, much better prepared to do battle? You had a good season last season, let's not forget.
Yeah, I mean, I think the journey I've been on since I've been in the championship, it started where in the first year, I just didn't want to look out of place. I wanted to hold my own on the grid. Didn't matter so much exactly where I finished in the championship, whether it was 10th, 15th or 20th, but I just wanted to be out there and be competitive and get the odd good result, which we did, and show that we was meant to be there. Last year we were going for a bit more than that. We were going for trophies, Jack Sears Trophy mainly, which we got. Contended for the independents alongside my old teammate. Got very close to that elusive race win, which everyone so wants. But no, it was a great year. So I think coming into this year, I've got over that initial hump where every driver questions whether they're good enough to be here, whether they deserve their place on the grid, what other people are thinking, because it does cross your mind when you're a new driver, because you're one of 24, 25 drivers on the grid, and there's probably 200 or 300 drivers out there that are all gunning for that place on the grid. So there's a lot of pressure that comes on your shoulders when you first join the championship. But now I feel completely in tune with the car I'm driving. I'm at one with my engineer, the people around me, that we all speak the same language on the race weekends. So I'm now actually coming into the season for the first time in my touring car career thinking, how close can we get to that championship, really? Because I think that with everything hooked up, as we've shown already, that we're going to be one of the toughest people to beat. And I think that if we can stay consistent across the year and keep our head down, then we could be there when all is said and done.
Absolutely. And the other accolade we mustn't forget for you for last year is that more than once you put a smile on Adam Weaver's face. We don't see that very often.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to be careful what I say because we haven't actually started the season yet. But listen, if we're putting a smile on Adam's face, then all is well with the team.
So you've had a chance to try out the lighter car now, because we don't have the hybrid 75, 80 kilos, which means the cars are a little bit more nimble. The ability to push to pass or push to defend, whichever way you're going to use it, I think all the drivers I've spoken to are saying it's much more noticeable, much more usable now. Is that your experience as well?
Well, I certainly noticed the cars being lighter and more nimble at Croft. I never drove the cars pre-hybrid, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to until now. And the cars just felt alive. I think, we're going to be able to do much more with the cars in the races this year. I think that we're going to be able to make more aggressive moves because we got less weight in the car. We can brake a bit later, be a bit more aggressive, which is what everyone wants to see. But I'd say with the push to pass, I'd say it doesn't feel any more effective than last year from my personal view, because we are still, we're still getting the same amount of deployment when we press the button relative to the level of boost when we're off the button as we did last year. It's just that half of it has been replaced from the hybrid and is now boost. So I think that the biggest thing is running the lighter car means that we can actually race a little bit harder during the race without the concerns of the brakes fading away, the tyres going off quite so much. So if we can be in a better position when we're following other cars to make a move, then the button is going to be more effective naturally. We're going to see more overtaking.
And I suspect we're going to see lap records coming down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've already set an unofficial lap record, I think, at Croft. But that's almost certainly going to go when we go back there this year. And it appears, like I say, with the lighter cars, I think, as I've said earlier in another podcast, that we're sort of heading towards the end of a regulation with these current cars. So all of the teams on the grid have really refined their equipment with what they've got and what they've developed over the last 5-10 years. All of their knowledge on the NGTC spec car. We're at the peak of our powers now, and I think that where the cars are now, we might be at the peak of performance for British touring cars for a long time, because we are setting lap records. The cars are getting faster. They're getting better prepared. There's better teams running them now. Just everything's coming together. Unless it's wet, I'd be surprised if all the lap records don't get smashed this year.
That is an incredibly astute point about the fact that we could be at the peak of the next new generation touring car era. That is very, very good point to make. It's going to make it an exciting season for the drivers, for the teams, but of course for the fans. And we're looking forward to to packed houses again, aren't we? It's going to be a good spectacle this season, I think, Mike, isn't it? Some good racing.
I really hope so. The fans is what makes British touring cars what it is. We are the biggest show in the UK when it comes to car racing, and there has been some doom and gloom in the world of motorsport and British motorsport, world motorsport, with the expense of it and various things happening. But that we got 24 cars back out on the grid. That's a fantastic achievement by everyone involved. As a fan's perspective, we got 24 competitive cars as well. Don't be surprised to see qualifyings concluded with all the cars under a second of each other. And especially with the tyre differences we've got this year, the different deltas from hard tyres to soft tyres. They've gone really aggressive on that this year. We could be harking back to the sort of 2018 era where, we had more than 15 drivers winning a race. I genuinely think with the drivers we've got on the grid this year, we could be heading for another season like that, and wouldn't that be great?
Indeed it would. What a great assessment of the season ahead. It's going to be... You've got that look in your eye that says you're looking forward to this, genuinely looking forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I start to enjoy things more when I feel more comfortable with my surroundings. And it's not to say I wasn't enjoying it when I first joined the championship, but I felt like a bit of a small fish in a very big pond when I first joined the championship, whereas now I feel established. I feel like one of the drivers that people now associate with this great championship. And I'm not looking across at your Ingrams and your Jake Hills and Josh Cooks like they're superheroes anymore, like I might have done when I first joined the championship. They're just another competitor now to me, and they're people that I know I can beat when we've got our game together. So, listen, I mean, if we can keep going on the trajectory we're going with the car and the team, then, I think that they might be looking at us as, an outfit that's difficult to beat.
I think you're absolutely right. Mikey, have a very good season. We will chat many times, I've no doubt, as you climb down off the podium with that brilliant smile on your face. So have a great 2025 season. Just to round off, as I'm doing with all the drivers, as we do at this time of year, a couple of slightly humorous questions. So you get to choose 3 numbers. First one, 1 to 5. Choose a number from 1 to 5.
We'll go number 2.
Are you a good passenger in a road car?
I'm not a bad passenger. Yeah, I'm a pretty good passenger as long as the driver's doing what they should be doing. Yeah.
You have a checklist. Or, clutch too early. You've let.
No, if I'm a passenger, I'm normally asleep half the time. So
fair enough. Another number between 1 and 5.
Go for number 1.
Do you have a middle name?
I do. I have 2.
What are they?
John, and it's actually my mother's maiden name, which is a bit odd. Not the name, but it's Rainey. So it's not really a name as such. It's like another surname.
Part of yeah. You're the second driver to have their mother's maiden name as a middle name. Interesting. And a final number 1 to 5.
Go number 5.
What year was the first British Touring Car Championship when Jack Sears won?
I know that it's...
You've had a look at the trophy and it's on that.
Yeah, but I'm under the spotlight now. I'm going to go with... Actually, let me think. 1958.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Mikey, well done. Have a good season.
I couldn't get that one wrong.
Well done.
Cheers.